Right. So after that, you know, it was funny because after that, we get moved to the dorm. I don't say nothing. I leave it alone, even though he about knocked me out. I leave it alone. I don't say nothing. We go back to the dorm, and it's like going into the dorm and actually going in there, and then I'm in the dorm with like 5 of the guys that were in that line. So of course that was already being like, boy, that boy there got slapped. It sounded like it was a firecracker going on. So that was my first day, just dealing with that and the clowning. And but actually after that, man, you know, you follow into a routine.
How old were you with that first day in prison?
30.
30?
Yeah,
okay,
30.
Right.
Yeah. So my whole 30's pretty much been locked up. So
right.
Yeah. So 30 was, 30. Yeah.
All right. So keep going.
Yeah. So I mean, then it's just like falling into a routine, man. You know, the whole Lake Butler thing. What they don't know is that you got all kinds of orientations, medical, different things that you have to do there. So it's kind of hard to get settled there. And you have just such a wide range of inmates at that prison. I always said that Florida prison ain't got no structure at all compared to prisons out in California and different places like that. The way they house people and the ways they do things is completely messed up, in my opinion. You shouldn't be, for me personally, you shouldn't be housing minimum custody around
with life
action. Yeah, with life.
You know what though? We always we used to have conversations with guys from prisons from other states.
Yeah.
And I think that the state of Florida does that intentionally to try to cause disunity amongst the inmate population.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a guy named Tex. He was a convict. He'd been in prison forever. He did a whole bunch of time in Texas.
Yeah.
And he had a big bid in Florida. I think he was doing like a 10-piece. So he was always like, man, there ain't no unity in Florida, man. Yeah. There ain't no unity amongst the inmates in Florida, man. There ain't no convicts in Florida.
Yeah.
And he used to talk about how in Texas there was so much more unity in the inmate population.
Right.
And he used to say his argument was the reason why he thinks that there's disunity is because, just like you said, a lot of times they mix the housing, even though it's based upon like custody, what your custody level is.
Right.
Your custody is you could still be in a cell with a lifer and you only got 6 months.
Right.
And the reason why, his argument is because if the lifer and everybody else who got life is like, yo, this riot, the guys who are going home like, man, I ain't finna riot. You know what I mean? I ain't finna get no more time. I'm trying to go home in 6 months or a year from now.
Right.
So that way there's already a dividing gap of stopping riots and mass movement from the inmate population.
Right.
So I think that's probably maybe the
sense.
intention behind that mixed population of sentencing in the Florida Department of Corrections based upon just housing and custody rather than the amount of time to try to cause that disunity amongst the inmate population.
Right.
So, and I can kind of think that that's true too, so.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that too. I think it's a total mixture of things. I just think for a person like myself, that the minimum custody is just being mixed in. I never had no issues, but the thing is it put me in dangerous situations. I always said, I went to Santa Rosa my first camp, my second time. And when I got to Santa Rosa is a level 7 psych camp. So when I'm walking into a jungle and I have no reason to be there. You know what I mean? Because I'm a psych 1, minimum custody. And prime example is they put me in the kitchen dorm, which is housing all high custody inmates. And so the first people that I lived around, one had triple life sentence, one had double life sentence.
And how much time did you have?
I had 4 years.
4 years.
And so the issue that I have with it is if this guy here wakes up one day, whatever, mom died, dad died, girl broke up with him, whatever, he ain't never going home to see nobody. Then he looks at me sleeping peacefully, and then he may get angry because I am going home to see my family. And that's how people get hurt and get killed and stuff like that.